Because it is Monday, every Monday we like to play a little game called Reaction or No Action, as you can no doubt see behind us. Are you ready to begin?
Yeah. Let's jump right in, baby. It's Monday. The grind starts now.
All right. The Saints and Packers both won this weekend. They moved to 7-2, followed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are at 7-3, and the Cardinals, the Rams, and the Seahawks all now sit at 6-3. Saints quarterback Drew Brees, however, expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks minimum with multiple fractured ribs, as I point to the general area of a rib cage, and a partially collapsed lung suffered in Sunday's win over the San Francisco 49ers. Reaction or no action? There is no favorite to win the NFC.
I'll take reaction to that because I do think that it is.
Are you still eating the popcorn?
Yeah, I think some just came out of my mouth. So sorry about that, Mom. Sorry about that.
Just found out 2 minutes ago he's doing a TV show today.
But the popcorn's so damn good.
It's
the cheddar.
delicious.
It's just the cheddar. There's no caramel in there. It's just the cheddar, and it's delicious. My reaction is yes. There's no clear-cut favorite in the NFC. I see about 5 or 6 teams that all are very good, but there is potentially a fatal flaw in the if they get to the postseason. My top 3 teams in the NFC: Buccaneers. I think they're one of the most complete. When Tom is right, that offense is really good. We know how good the defense has been. Despite the injury to Drew Brees, I'll wait and see. If he doesn't come back, if it is Jameis Winston the rest of the way, I will dock them and maybe move a team like the Cardinals or the Rams up. Green Bay at number 3 because I still think the best quarterback in the NFC, pound for pound, Aaron Rodgers. As good as Kyler Murray is, as good as Russell Wilson is, Aaron Rodgers is my GOAT. He's the Patrick Mahomes of the NFC. They have the issues on defense, but with him and Devontae Adams, they're in any game. New Orleans is kind of like the hybrid between them. Their offense, obviously, Drew Brees, is he a game manager now? But Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas back on that defense, they're pretty good. Not Buccaneers good, but they're certainly not as bad as the Packers.
Congratulations on your Survivor selection. You won yet again with Green Bay. Not exactly an easy one.
The last few have just been. I'm taking like 2 touchdown favorites here, and I'm sweating this in the fourth quarter.
All right.
WTF.
My 3 looks similar to yours, twisted up a little bit with a splash of lemon on the side. Tampa Bay, you hit the nail on the head. The most balanced team in the conference. The Rams at number 2. Now, a lot of people might say, well, that's because they beat Seattle yesterday. I've been on the Rams for a while. They've got 3 good losses at 6-3, or at least good losses as I see them. A tight one at Buffalo, another road game at San Francisco where they lost to a Niner team that was much healthier than they are now, and at Miami, which was a horrible travel spot off a Monday night game against a Dolphins team that's turning out to be pretty good. Rams in 2nd, the Saints in 3rd. The Drew Brees injury, alarming, but look at the upcoming schedule. Hosting Atlanta, at Denver, at Atlanta, at the Eagles, and then the Chiefs. They're going to be the favorite all the way up until week 15 when they host the Chiefs. And then even in that spot, they could be the favorite if Drew Brees is back. So I think they're going to be in pretty good shape there.
Yeah, I might be kind of emotionally hedging against my Rams, not wanting to jinx them. They are.
It's all right.
I don't know if their offense is as good as it has been in recent years, but this is the best defense Sean McVay has ever had. And defense travels. When you have Aaron Donald who can pressure quarterbacks, and then Jalen Ramsey and Darius Williams who can dominate, cover receivers, take the ball the other way. They have kind of a good recipe on that defensive side. Would like to see Jared Goff be a little bit more consistent, though. That's it.
Jalen Ramsey erased DK Metcalf from that game yesterday. Erased him from that game.
2 catches, 28 yards.
Reaction or no action, number 2. Miami.
Yeah.
The Dolphins now 3-0 under rookie quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, who threw 2 touchdown passes in yesterday's win over fellow rookie quarterback Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers of Los Angeles. Reaction or no action?
Right.
Tua's going to win Rookie of the Year.
I'll have a reaction to that. I don't think he will, but I don't think it's silly to wonder if he can. There's still 7 more games that he will play, and Miami by far is going to have a better record and be a more likely team to qualify for the postseason than either the Cincinnati Bengals or the LA Chargers, the teams of the 2 principal competitors he has for that Rookie of the Year award, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. They're out in the lead right now, Herbert and
Burrow.
Burrow, pardon me, I wanted to say Lawrence there. Thinking
you wanted to say
already,
popcorn.
Is
what you wanted to say.
Already thinking of Trevor Lawrence winning it next year, but Burrow and Herbert, they're going to put up better stats. But what if Miami passes the Bills and goes in these next 7 games, goes 5-2, and Tagovailoa is 8-2 as a starter? and has decent numbers on a per-game basis. On a per-game basis, if they're in the same ballpark as those other two, I think he'll have a legitimate chance if that's the scenario that plays out.
He's got a big mountain to climb, hurdles to overcome. The most he can do is make 10 starts. Burrow's going to make 16. Herbert is going to make 15. You got Joe Burrow completing 65% of his passes, playing in the AFC North, which is absolutely brutal. Justin Herbert's completing 67% of his passes, playing in the division with the defending champs. And then here's Tua Tagovailoa completing 63% of his passes, playing in the AFC East, which might be considered a little bit easier, although the Patriot win last night changes things up a little bit.
I agree with those.
You got to put up big numbers. Right now, 5 TDs, no INTs, which is good. Passing yards down a little bit. I'm going to go no action on that one. So, number 3, reaction, no action. We switched to the National Basketball Association as the point god, Chris Paul, was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder on Monday. In exchange, the Thunder got back a bunch of players, including Kelly Oubre and Ricky Rubio. They also have a draft pick. Phoenix Suns is what I meant to say. As I try to keep all of this, I'm staring at the popcorn. Major distraction. Chris Paul to the Suns in exchange for a bevy of players, including Ricky Rubio, Kelly Oubre, and a draft pick. We will get to that in just a moment. Reaction or no action? Chris Paul is a bad fit for the Phoenix Suns.
I have a reaction to that, and that's wrong. Chris Paul's a good fit on any basketball team. Chris Paul is a criminally underrated all-time point guard. He hasn't been on a team that has won a championship, but that's not because of Chris Paul's efforts. Chris Paul is one of the most efficient point guards to ever play, and Chris Paul is someone who immediately goes to teams and makes them better.
Look at that.
When he was drafted by the Hornets, they eclipsed their Vegas total in wins by 16.5 when he's a rookie. He goes to the Clippers, and they miss it by a win or 2.5 wins, but that was a strike-shortened season that he still won 40 games. Goes to the Rockets alongside James Harden. They clear their total by 9.5. Goes to the Thunder. Thought he was being shipped to Siberia, basketball Siberia. The Thunder aren't going to attend. They made the playoffs.
They were good.
And eclipsed it by 11.5. What'd you tell me we had as a total for the Suns right after this news?
Here in Vegas, I saw 38.5 for their win total.
Hammer!
Remember, they only play 72 games this year.
Hammer the over. I think this is
huh?
going to be a 40-win team. I don't think 50 wins is in the realm of possibility, but a 40-win team, I think they can be 39-33, a 40-win team above 500. Devin Booker is ready to make that leap into elite stardom. DeAndre Ayton is going to turn into an efficiency monster next to Chris Paul. Think about what he did for guys like Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Tyson Chandler, Clint Capella. Did he play with Capella for a little bit there in Houston? Yeah, he played with Capella for a little bit there in Houston. So think what he's done with those big guys. And now he gets a freak like Ayton, who's young and has someone who can take on the scoring and kind of initiating an offense bulk in Devin Booker when he needs to rest his legs a little bit because he is 35. They won every game in the bubble, 8-0. I'm bullish on the Suns. I'm going to go over.
I'm intrigued. Not as excited about this as you are. He's 35 years old, and I see him as a bridge to a destination and not the actual destination himself. He's battled a lot of injuries over the last 4 years, and he's the type of guy that can come in. He's one of the smartest basketball players we've ever seen. So between that intelligence, the command, the presence he brings to the floor, what he can teach guys on the road as they travel together throughout the course of how many months, he can make them better. He can bridge them from where they are now, which is irrelevant, to a legitimate contender. But I don't think he is that destination. There's still more that needs to happen. The one thing that worries me here is the pace and the style at which Phoenix will play. Phoenix was 9th in the NBA in pace last season. Pace is essentially a metric that measures how many possessions you have per game. The more possessions you have, presumably the faster you're going, and the more shots you get up, the more points you can score. Phoenix was 9th last year. Oklahoma City was 21st. So it's a slower team with Chris Paul.
Sure.
And we saw this before with the Houston Rockets. Houston was 27th in pace 2 years ago with Chris Paul. They were 2nd last year. So the team's going to slow down a little bit. I'm interested to see how that works.
One thing that happens when you get Chris Paul and you slow down, though, that I think the Suns will need to account for, and they're not necessarily Monty Williams, their coach, is not known for his defensive schemes. Chris Paul's still a good defender, but when you play at a slower pace, you need to have a good defense as far as efficiency. So let's make that happen if you are the Suns. Try and find defensive players to put around Paul.